most people don't realize, and like maybe some of the hardcore wrestling fans, but there is significant value in some of the old wrestling cards, big time. I know it was really funny because Gary Vee did his podcast, and I'm watching it, and he's pulling out all his cards, and he's got some of the original wrestling stuff, and he's got the original Hulk Hogan card, PSA 10, and I'm looking at it. I think it was a 10. It might have been a lower grade, but he was very proud of it. It was still one of his, one of the favorites, some of his wrestling stuff. I don't think people realize. Look at The Rock. The Rock's PSA 10s of his first trading cards, $300 and $400 or more.
So 1985 Topps WWF Hulk Hogan rookie card, PSA 10. This was the only one sold back in September for $225.
Wow. And that's only one. I'd like to see how many, the population report for that, because I definitely...
You would have to tell me which rookie card to look for, because if I back it down to a 9, it looks like there are multiple 1985 Topps rookie cards.
Yeah, there are several versions in the set.
Went for $550, so
right.
There's definitely, it looks like that's more of the one that people are looking for.
Right. Well,
okay,
so this product I have here, this is the WrestleMania blaster box. Now, the Topps Chrome is what we really want, but I bought this because these are becoming scarce to find. Very few in some of the Targets and Walmarts that you go around to. This is this year's WrestleMania. And the reason why I'm looking at wrestling cards this year is because this is 30th anniversary of Undertaker and final year. So he's done wrestling. In theory, you never know. Wrestling is what it is. But this has been his year of retirement. Marks 30 years since he debuted in 1990. This year's stuff, this year's WrestleMania being affected by the pandemic, I wanted to see kind of how this product lines up, because there was some really cool stuff done at this year's WrestleMania because they couldn't have fans, so they did these awesome kind of cinematic matches for the first time in history. I want to open this up because I know there's some Undertaker stuff in this set. I'm looking for Undertaker. That's my jam. I started watching wrestling when I was a very little boy, but Undertaker is what pulled me in. I've watched it for many, many years. I'm a super nerd when it comes to that. So anyway, let's just look and see what we can get out of this. So a couple of things that we're looking for on here. You can't really see it because it's really tiny fine print, but that's how many different parallels and stuff are in here. There's a whole list. Probably 30 or 40 on here. But I can tell you that there's autographs in here. There are definitely several different parallels of stuff on here. Golds. There's different parallels of the autographs in here. There's relic cards, which we should get at least one relic card out of this box here to show. Sometimes those are cool. I'm not a huge fan of any of the relic cards, but those could be very cool. There's silver and gold, red parallels. There's superstar relics. The other thing that's going to be cool out of here is there's going to be some tribute to Hall of Fame superstars. Those are probably where some value is going to be if you pull a big name. A Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. From my understanding, those have some autographs in here, so those are probably valuable as well.
Yeah, even I know Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. All right, so let's.
So here at Area 51 Collectibles, we want to do our own rating system. We're going to grade 5 different things: the gradability of the cards, so like the card quality, the border quality, misprint, centering. We're going to look at the value of the cards. Kind of went over that, what the value of them is going to be. The presentation of the card. I'm going to ask you, what do you think about the looks, the color, is the technology of the card nice? The collectability of the card is going to be under collector's choice, and then finally the wow factor. So kind of keep those things in mind as we're cracking this. I'll ask you about that after we look at the cards.
Okay, cool. All right, let's get cracking on this blaster. So this blaster is going to come with 10 packs. We're supposed to get 1 relic card and 4 Hall of Fame tribute cards. All of those could be any number of variations and parallels. Let's hope we get something good. All right, see if I can get it. Man, these are really thick packs. They really stack them up in this box here. I'm going to put this box in front of me here so that I can look at some of the parallels while we do this. So it looks like the relic card and those tribute cards all come in a separate pack here, like an additional cello pack. So we'll save that for last. Let's see. All the packs are kind of the same.
A lot of people are probably going to be able to find these on shelves.
These are becoming rare, but I'm finding that Targets have like 1 or 2. Walmart has 1 or 2 of these. These are from earlier in the year. This is so I'm guessing these probably came out in April. And with that being said, I'm sure they're drying up. The Topps Chrome is the newest, which I'm finding less and less of. The Topps Chrome is the hot one. That's the one that I think's got a lot of value in it. But I still think there's some gems in here to find. And since this was the only one on the shelf, I wanted to bring it out and take a look. All right. So we have The Miz. Oh, and these are date stamped, it looks like, as well. So that's AJ Styles. AJ Styles is probably one of the best wrestlers in the business, in the history of the business. In-ring performer for sure. Drew McIntyre, big fan favorite right now, getting a WWE title push. We got a Bret the Hitman Hart. Becky Lynch just had a baby. Apparently going to be coming back here pretty quick. Supposedly you're going to see another Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch face-off. So fun story about this guy. This is Eric in the WWE. This guy's from Dallas. I've actually got a couple of his t-shirts from his indie series. He wrestled in a tag team called War Machine. His name was Rowe. I've got a couple of pictures with him in his DVD because he was in a terrible, terrible auto accident, I believe on a motorcycle. And most of his body is pinned together in steel. And he managed to make a giant recovery and come back. Now he's in the WWE. So both him and Hanson, the guy that he was a tag team partner with, who I believe Hanson's out of Houston. I think Rowe was out of Houston as well. But they wrestled here in Dallas often at the VIP Wrestling. Anyway, really cool to see them on the main stage. Small little tidbit story there. Always like seeing these guys on the big stage. So we got Daniel Bryan. These cards are kind of cool. Pretty basic. But we got some type of insert coming up here. What do we got? This is... Ooh, that's a really cool Jeff Hardy. So I'm not 100% sure what this insert is, other than I think it's just a shiny parallel. But there is probably 30 different shiny parallels that you can get, so it's one of them. But it's a cool little card.
So these kind of look more cinematic than a sports card.
Yeah, a little bit more. I mean, they're definitely action shots, just like sports cards. There's a couple of these, like these cards are kind of the photo shot. You can tell with the background, but these are definitely in-ring performance. The quality of these cards is definitely good. Ooh, I like who I'm seeing on the back of this one. It's one of my personal favorites. And we got another insert, looks like, coming up here.
Cool.
R-Truth, personal favorite of mine. Met him several times. One day I'll share my cool San Diego Comic-Con story. The Fiend, personal favorite. I'm not sure what this insert is. Let's take a look here. It's just another parallel. These are cool. I don't know, they just have this weird kind of snowy effect foiling. And those are like one every 2 packs, it looks like, so nothing special. I want an Undertaker anything, man. I'll take an Undertaker anything. Shinsuke Nakamura, I managed to meet him. He's a really super nice guy. Doesn't speak much English, or didn't at the time. That was his. I met him in his rookie year at WrestleMania. That's cool. Buddy Murphy. I think these are the go-to cards, these kind of portrait-looking cards. If I was going to collect one, I think those are the ones of the wrestlers that are pretty cool. Braun Strowman, I like Braun Strowman. Winning Superstars. I'm guessing these are just some type of insert. Nikki Cross, she's a lot of fun. There's Drew McIntyre. Yeah, these are kind of cool.
Did any of the big retired names come back at WrestleMania that we could see here?
John Cena wrestled again, and he's kind of out of it. He's gone on to acting and other things. Obviously, Undertaker, it was his last ever WrestleMania, and of course he had the big streak, so that was a big deal when the streak got broken, but he's kind of known for that. Every WrestleMania, there's typically some Hall of Famers that come out and are inducted into the Hall of Fame, usually at least 5 Hall of Famers. So that is something that you always see at least a few. As far as performing, they typically have one kind of legend-style match where they have somebody that hasn't wrestled in a long time come in and do a one-off match. They did it for 2 nights this time because of the pandemic. It was 2 different nights.
That.
Yeah.
It was a big deal because they were trying to get fans in there at first, and that fell apart.
Yeah, that wasn't happening. That was at the very beginning of the pandemic, too.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley. All right, so here's Ember Moon. This is another one. She used to wrestle here locally. She's now on the main stage again. She got injured, though. She was doing really well, and she got injured, was out for a while. Now I believe she's back on the NXT circuit, which is kind of a third programming and used to be the developmental league for wrestling. So I think she's back now. I haven't watched a lot of NXT recently, but she's actually really exciting to watch in the ring. All right. Some cool moments. Ooh, that's actually cool. That's a full-on Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar? Yeah.
Parallel foil. He defeated the new Daniel Bryan. That's just an actual, like, good card. I hate Brock Lesnar, but this is just a good-looking card if you're a Brock Lesnar fan. We got, okay, I'm not sure how this is stacking up, so I don't know what way to bring it out, but, oh, there we go. Okay, we have a Honky Tonk Man tribute. This is a Hall of Fame tribute insert. These are not numbered, but apparently these are considered inserts. I guess these are all Honky Tonk Man. That's the actual...
Okay, that makes sense.
Honky Tonk Man was pretty entertaining. So, yep, these are all Honky Tonk Man. And then, our relic card, the big hit. What do we get? Congratulations. You now own an authentic WrestleMania 35 event-used matte relic card. And it is sequentially numbered 49 of 199 for Jey Uso. Uso? Cousins to Roman Reigns and The Rock. Can't tell. It's definitely got a stain on it, so I guess it is indeed used.
Gross.
Yeah. Probably a tooth fell on that spot, and maybe a little blood and some spit. I don't know. Maybe that's what makes it real awesome. The Usos getting a bit of a push right now with Roman Reigns being champion, so I don't expect their cards to be worth any more money. But all right, so just to reiterate, we got the cool relic card. We got these cool foil board cards. None of these are numbered, I do not believe, so they are all just the foil boards. There are 5 of them, and there are 10 packs. They come one every other pack, according to the box here.
We're Area 51. Our scale is from 1 to 51. Every single set starts with the 1, and then we grade 5 categories from 1 to 10. So I'll keep track. I'm going to ask you the questions, and then you come up with the numbers that you would give these, and we'll come up with a final grade at the end.
Okay.
Our first rating category is gradability. The card quality, border color, how do the centering on the cards look? What would you give that on a scale of 1 to 10?
The centering looks good. The printing on these look good. The card stock is pretty good. I like kind of the feel. They're a little thin. They're glossy on one side and not glossy on the back. They're a matte feel on the back. So that's a little weird. The edging is pretty good, although probably not the best cardstock that they printed this on.
Okay.
It almost feels like a business card.
Yeah, your chrome's going to have a thicker cardstock.
Right. So, gradability, I would say probably a 5. It's probably middle of the line. It's not bad, but it's nothing to write home about. The card surfacing and stuff could go either way, so I'd say it's probably about a 5.
Okay. Obviously, we haven't looked up any comps, but just give me your general opinion on value. So, how hot do you think this product is? What are the rookies in the product? Anything that obviously you talked a little bit about the Undertaker's Swan Song year, so there's a little bit of value in that. So we're 5 or 6 months removed from when this product came out, and it's still on shelves. Probably reflects a little bit on the value.
Right.
What do you think the value on a scale of 1 to 10?
I think for a fan of wrestling, it's a cool product. I don't, however,
I am talking to a fan of wrestling. So
I know, and I'm putting my best unbiased opinion forward on this one. So, right, I'm going to say that the value of this is probably very low. I would say on our rating scale, I would probably give this a 2, maybe a 3, just because it has fan appeal, like the dedicated collectors. But I'm going to say it's probably a 2 or 3.
All right, so we'll be generous on this one. I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
Considering this is our first actual rating on the scale.
Yeah.
So we'll give it a 3 and see where we end at the end. Okay, so on to presentation. Obviously, it has a very cinematic presentation.
Yep.
Tell me about the looks. How does the color pop off the card? They use any technology. The parallels look pretty decent. They obviously used floor mat in the relic, which you don't really see in the sports card world. Sometimes you see helmets or footballs or baseball or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think that Topps just modeled their product as far as the actual packaging and stuff, so I think that the look of it's good on the shelf, but when it actually comes to the product, I think they look like sports cards. I think they look like any other run-of-the-mill sports cards, and I use that terminology on purpose. These things look cool. They've got the cool inserts. These inserts, I'll put this under the camera if you can see. This is Bret Hart. I know the glare is a little hard because they are glossy on the front of the card, a little more than normal. But these look good. I like it. The colors pop well. Yeah, they're good. They're good. And as far as like the event used memorabilia there with the mat, I like the way that they did that. That looks just like a sports card would. They've got it kind of the minimalistic approach, but it looks good. I like the way that they did the back, very much in line with all of other Topps products. I would like to see the parallels that are different foiling, and there are quite a few. I think there's 5 or 6 different versions and 3 or 4 of each. So I'd like to see more of those before I give it a hardcore rating. But these I'm not impressed with. They're really shiny. The white plating on it is good. I don't know how familiar you are with white plating, but if you look at this, you see how shiny it is in the background, right? The snowflake look. But if you notice, Brock Lesnar's not shiny. Right. They white plate him on the card. So it white plates it out so only the background is shiny. But it goes over kind of the title down here. It's shiny. Kind of hard to read. It is a little awkward, so I'm not a big fan of it. There's just too much going on the cards because these are scenes. Ooh, I'm going to give it a 3.
Just to be fair, we are talking about one of the cheaper products that you could probably buy in wrestling. This is not. This is going to be your bargain product, not your hardcore expensive product that you're going to find. Absolutely. Yeah. Right, so moving over to collector's choice, the depth of the product. We're seeing, what is the collectability? You said when you're breaking that you would probably only go for 2 or 3 of the cards for hardcore collection. That probably weighs into the collectability of this set.
Right.
How you talked about the cool inserts. How cool are the inserts to collect? So hit me with a number for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the collectability is there. I definitely think that a fan of wrestling is still going to get a lot of enjoyment out of this and collecting this. Like I said, I really like these kind of showcase cards here. Like this is Becky Lynch. I think that's Bayley underneath her that she's the armbar too. I like these. I think collecting these are cool, right? You look at this, Eric here. I like these cards. If I'm a wrestling fan, and I think these are cool to collect, I would definitely collect these. Okay. I would give it a much higher rating on the collectability scale of things. The actual relics and autographs, those are obtainable. Getting wrestling autographs are a little bit easier than like another sport like football and baseball. There's a little more access to wrestling superstars. Some of the top level, not so much, but some of the other middle range and lower. And obviously, they do big events, at WrestleMania where you can go get lots of autographs and stuff. So there's a lot to be
The whole
said.
business is entertaining and making the characters accessible.
Right, right. So as far as the actual memorabilia and stuff, it's cool to have that in there. But wrestling autographs and stuff only add another dimension to it. So I would say the collectability is high. I'm going to give this a 6 on the collectability frame, and I think part of that speaks to the fandom of wrestling and what it is. Yeah.
Well, that's why you're a good grader of this product, because you can take it. Me, I would have walked right past it, but I
Right.
don't collect wrestling cards.
Right.
So it's the last category. Give me your overall wow factor rating. The uniqueness of the product. Obviously, this is WrestleMania specific, so we're
Right.
talking about one event. What does it do different? How what are the big hits on the product? Does it hit you in any kind of way as wow, this is a cool product?
No. No. The short answer is no. It doesn't. WrestleMania is the Super Bowl for wrestling. It's the Daytona 500 of wrestling. World Series. It's the pinnacle of all wrestling worldwide. WrestleMania is it, right? I think this set is cool. There's no wow factor to it that makes me want this over Topps Chrome WWE.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to say the wow factor.
Non-wrestling guy, I totally understand that.
Yeah, I'm going to say that we're down on the 3 level. I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to be generous because it is WrestleMania. I do think that there's the honky tonk Hall of Fame inserts, which that's cool because it is WrestleMania. You get the Hall of Fame inductees only once a year, and there's only a handful. That's cool. So I'm going to go with a 3.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 51, the WWE WrestleMania trading card scored a 21 out of 51, which puts it into a category of we don't really recommend it unless it is right up your alley and you're looking for something specific. It's
Right.
kind of in that range for us. And to be fair, we probably knew that coming in. It is going to be a lower end product. It doesn't have the flashy cards. It doesn't have the big draw like a Chrome product would or something like that. So I think 21 out of 51 probably falls right in line with what I was expecting. What about you?
And we were being pretty generous with that, I gotta say. I really am looking forward to the Topps Chrome. I think people are going to be pretty impressed with that. I think I'm going to be impressed with that. I do not believe that normally I would give this product even as high as that rating. I would actually probably say that overall it probably deserves a little less than what we gave it, but we're being generous since it's our first rating. So, yeah, not desirable. Even as a wrestling fan, probably still would not buy this product, especially knowing that Topps Chrome's coming and out. I wouldn't buy this product, and I wouldn't have bought this product when it was new on the shelf. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that wraps up our rating for WWE WrestleMania 2020.